Schematically, it's exactly like San Diego State last year. I mean, it's identical, same coordinator, and they haven't changed much from what they were doing up there. There's, a little bit different, but not a ton different from what they were doing when the old coaching staff was there. They have that personnel. We've played backs like them before. I think the guy from Boise is similar, probably not as much juice as the bigger guy has. I think the kid from San Diego State last year was pretty good too. He's probably comparable to number 20. So we've played backs like them. Notre Dame's backs are like them. So
you always got to keep telling your guys they're going to pound a lot like Georgia Tech and then try to hit you over the top.
Got to read your keys because your keys tell you everything. So if you're looking at the football, you're going to be wrong. You got to look at your key, and run looks like run and pass looks like pass. If you're looking at the ball, run and pass will probably look about the same. So you got to look at exactly your key.
You've been harping on turnovers, and then you got 4 against Boise State.
The last couple games we got some. We got to continue on with that. We need extra possessions for our offense. It'll be a close game. So
what are you nitpicking your defense about now?
You got to tackle and keep the ball in front, and we will keep the points down. As long as we tackle and get guys to the ball and keep the big plays down, we will definitely be in the game and hold the points down enough to give ourselves a chance to win it. And I expect that we'll do that. It's been a long time since we haven't held the points down to win a football game, and I think we're going to do the same thing. I feel like.
Health-wise, how's the secondary looking?
Yeah, I mean, Mike's still just a little banged up, but everyone else is good to go. So
there have been rumors that maybe Zach Stout might be coming back in January. Do you know anything about that?
I don't know. I mean, I see Zach around, but I don't know the exact details. That would be with Coach Mendenhall, so I don't know. But I have seen Zach around. It looks good. Looks like he's happy and doing well.
Offensive line, is this the biggest offensive
They're
line?
big. They're like Notre Dame last year. That's who I'd compare them to that we've played. Definitely. Maybe like Oklahoma a couple years ago, that type of size.
Are you guys big enough to stand up?
We're going to find out. I don't know. Hope so. We've stood up to everybody else. Notre Dame leaned on us, but Notre Dame scored 17 points on us. We had a chance to win it, and it's not about yards to me. It's about points, and we've got to make plays when the opportunity arises. And, yeah, they're big, but can't change that. What we can change is our technique being really low and our calls being really simple and flying to the ball, and that's our focus, not how big they are.
Are you going into it assuming Abradaris will play?
Yeah, I mean, you can't go. Well, we can't sit here and say, "Oh, number 4 is not going to play," because then you show up and he's playing, then you got the wrong mindset. You got to show up to every game like Jerry Rice is going to play for the other team. So,
as far as the play action and stuff, when you're playing a downhill running team like this, guys on the corners really rely on them to take care of business out on their own.
It's hard because if you blitz it and you're wrong, they can protect it. So you either got to send more than they do or drop more than, drop them all, So there's going to be isolation out there. And we do have, certain calls that'll get help that way. But on first and second down, how are you going to know when they're going to do it, So you just got to be sound in all your calls. They're not throwing the ball on third down, play action. It's on run down. So we have a good plan. We practice it. It's all about reading your keys, and shoot, they might catch one and they might not catch some, and so just being in position to make a play.
Robertson Daniels come up big a lot for this year.
He's
Is this
good.
another game where he's going to have to really
Everybody's going to have to. By him, yeah. I mean, you're asking that question. He's got to play good, and we got to have good play out of everybody. But he is a really, really, really good player, and I can't emphasize that enough. And maybe as good as any field corner we've had here, and that's not an overstatement. He's a good football player. And I think a lot of people underestimated him coming in late, and I think we knew who he was, and he's good. He's really good, and he's the body type. He practices hard. He's a playmaker. He's good.
Did you get his name right the first time you heard it?
Called him Robertson Daniel. He goes by Robbie. I called him, we mess around with him. Now I just call him RD because it's short for, he's got 2 first names and 2 last names. And so if you call him Daniel, Sorensen will look at you, and if you call him Robertson, he gets offended. So let's call him, hey, yeah.
Going back to the Mike, has he got a chance to get players he's going to be?
No, I hope he does. No, I mean, I'm planning on him playing right now. Yeah. We need him to play.
Concussion?
No, his head's okay. He's just got a few things lingering still, but he should be ready to go. I'm planning on him playing right now. He practiced good today.
Obviously, Wisconsin's rushing attack is, creating the possibility for them to chew up a lot of clock. They really like to slow it down and keep defenses on the field for a long time. how are you guys preparing for that? You know, being on the field for a long amount of time.
Well, we will be on the field for a longer time, but I'll bet you we play a lot less plays because a lot of that time they're standing in a huddle, and that's good for us. And our offense scores fast, so we will play less plays unless, you know, we just don't control the ball or turn it over. But I would expect, my guess, 60 to 70, which is a drastic. That'd be like a game last year.
Do you guys keep an eye on the weather reports at all?
Yeah, a little bit. But, I mean, yeah, I think I looked at it, 44 and sunny, so good football that's cold. So it's going to be like Provo, Utah, I think, of November. So the only place that's not going to be like Provo is probably Arizona or California or Florida, and we're not playing there. So it's fall time now. So it's going to be fun. Probably should practice outside instead of the IPF, but it's fun.
When you play a ball control team like this, field position is always key, you know that, but against a ball control opponent,
Yeah.
is it even heightened because of that?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, field position is always crucial. The thing that I look at is I think they're really good in the blue zone, and they're really good on defense in the blue zone. And so points are going to be hard to come by, and then you got to be tough to, you know, you got to control the points. But I think so. Field position's everything. You know, you watched their game last week, and they had crappy field position the whole first half, and Iowa could have went up 14-0. Instead, they kicked field goals and lost an opportunity. You can't do that. You know, their special teams, they had a pick, Iowa did, and then their special teams played good, and the wind was a factor in the punt game, and they didn't take advantage of it. And finally, if you watch the game, chip at it, chip at it, chip at it, and finally they scored touchdowns at the end of the game. So they wore them out.
Give us kind of report on the receivers.
On their receivers, number 4 is getting the ball, and he's good, and he's their main guy. The tight end, 45 or 8 or
I'll look it up.
40 numbers, he's good. He's adequate. He caught a touchdown pass last week. He's big. He catches it. And then little number 3's not bad. He's a little slot guy. So
So the outside guy.
they're throwing it to 4.
Yeah.
I don't care what formation they're in. If he's in, it's going to him. He can line up anywhere on the field, and he's getting the ball.